What's up guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I want to talk about the science of sustainable transformation and the importance of creating a sustainable health and fitness routine, not just because it is more beneficial for your health, but because it's the only way to actually achieve lasting, sustainable, forever results. Before I get into today's subject material, I'm going to start this video with a really brief pregnancy update, and in next week's video I want to talk about exercise, nutrition and mindset during pregnancy, so stay tuned for that next Friday. So I was 10 weeks pregnant on Wednesday this week, and it's been a really tough week actually. My nausea has been coming and going in waves. Some days were way more manageable. Other days I was vomiting all day, so that wasn't exactly fun. But I've actually had the flu for the last week and basically been forced to spend an entire week in bed. Since I filmed the last video, I've been out of the house once. I shared in my last video that pregnancy is teaching me to really just surrender to this journey, and the last week has been an entire experience of surrendering, resting as much as my body needs so that I can get better. So I'm feeling a whole lot better today, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to get out and do a light workout at the gym tomorrow, because exercise is so beneficial to us all the time, but particularly during pregnancy. So I'm really looking forward to moving my body again. Okay, so on to sustainable transformation. If what you're doing isn't sustainable, you're signing yourself up to an inevitable yo-yo, and you're also going to really jeopardize your health and your happiness in the long term. This is a really big area of the work that I do with my clients, guiding them away from the old, outdated paradigm of doing more and eating less towards a totally new and sustainable approach. Unfortunately, the old, more exercise and less food approach is something that a lot of people still wrongfully think they have to do in order to transform their bodies. Not only is that ineffective in the long run, but it can be incredibly damaging to your health, particularly your hormones over time. What I'm going to share in today's video is part of the body coaching pillar of my work, and I'm also going to touch a little bit on the mind pillar, because they are really interconnected. And that is why my coaching practice has evolved to incorporate the two, but I will be making a separate video going way more in depth on the mind coaching pillar as well. My own journey is really relevant to what I do as a coach today, and to me being ready to guide others on this journey, moving away from doing the crazy extreme shit that's bad for your health and moving towards forming a partnership with yourself, mind and body, that is peaceful and harmonious and achieves the results you want to achieve. The past struggles that I faced with disordered eating, hormone dysfunction, over-exercising, body image issues and anxiety have all really paved the way for what I do as a coach today, which I think is the case for anyone who is involved in deep transformation work with clients. You've really got to go there for yourself, through the lessons, through the struggles and through the triumphs, to be able to guide other people there as well. I'm so passionate about being of service to others in this area of work, because there was a time when I desperately needed a coach that does the work that I do. So I'm going to dive in now to talking about the science of physical transformation and principles of sustainability. But before I go on, I just want to preface this by saying I'm going to speak a lot about this in terms of females and in terms of female hormones, but if you are a male and you're watching this, you're still going to get a lot out of it. It is the same process, the same principles in terms of metabolic adaptation and the damage that you can do to your hormones if what you are doing is not sustainable. I also want to say that, as many of you know me as a former professional bodybuilder and someone who coaches competitive athletes to the stage still, you're probably wondering, well, is that sustainable? Is bodybuilding sustainable? And the answer is no. Bodybuilding is essentially a sport that requires you to strategically yo-yo diet to reach the muscularity and the conditioning levels that you're trying to achieve for the stage. As a coach who still works with competitors, I'm really passionate about helping my girls to get to the stage in the healthiest and safest possible ways for their body. So for all of my competitors, I'm making sure that they are really understanding all of these principles that I'm about to talk about today, and that we are doing this in the healthiest possible way and not using extreme measures, which is perhaps worthy of a whole nother video of its own. I'm not sure how many of you out there in this audience are going to be competitors, but if that is something that you would like me to make a video on, please let me know in the comments or shoot me an email, and I'm more than happy to talk about sustainability and health-focused competition prep. I want to begin by talking about this common misconception, and that is the belief that to lose weight or to transform your physical body, you must eat less food and do more exercise. Now, eat less and do more has its place in theory, but it's not sustainable in practice. Eating less and doing more may get you results initially, but unfortunately, it often leads to gaining the weight back and starting a cycle of yo-yo dieting, losing weight, gaining weight, and creating metabolic damage. So often clients come to me having got themselves backed into a corner in this way, eating lower and lower calories and doing more and more exercise, often cardio. But they're not seeing results, despite doing what they think they should be doing in order to lose the weight or change the way their body looks. And they're frustrated, they're disheartened, because despite doing what they think is going to help them lose weight, they are not seeing results. Maybe they saw changes to begin with, but now they're just hungry, they're tired, and everything is plateaued. And the thing is, they will continue to hit a plateau if the approach that they use is not sustainable. The problem with eating less and less is that the body is extremely adaptive. And if you continue to eat less and less over time, the body always tries to come back to equilibrium by down-regulating the metabolism to function on lower calories. It's the same with doing more and more exercise, particularly cardio. The more cardio you do, the more your body adapts to your higher energy expenditure to conserve energy and find its way back to homeostasis. This is the reason why your diet stops working over time and you have to continue eating less and less, because your body continues to adapt to your new lower calorie or higher energy expenditure baseline. As a holistic coach working with women, this conversation is so important to have, because what happens over time when taking this approach, over exercising or under eating, can be really bad, if not irreversible, hormone damage. With inadequate energy input, so not enough food, and with excessive energy expenditure, too much exercise, the body doesn't have what it needs to function, and that includes for our hormones to function. And so often hormones downregulate. In extreme cases, this can lead to hypothalamic shutdown of the female hormones, so that is them being switched off in the brain, and amenorrhea, which is a loss of menstrual cycle. This is common in female athletes where the energy in and the energy out are not suitable for the body to function properly. But it can also happen or be contributed to by excess psychological stress. There is a condition called female athlete triad. So if you are interested, I recommend you pop that into Google, do some research and learn more about it. It will truly help you understand the importance of prioritizing your health and the repercussions if you don't do so. So I have personally experienced amenorrhea in my early 20s. I had been on the contraceptive pill for a long time, 7 years. I came off and was wanting to get my natural cycle back, and I didn't get that back for almost 2 whole years, and that was a pretty scary thing to go through. It is the result of under-eating, disordered eating, over-exercise, high stress in my job as a lawyer, but also my hormones being disrupted by starting taking the contraceptive pill at a young age for my acne, and at a time when my hormones weren't in a really good rhythm by themselves. Going on the pill from a young age can be really detrimental when your body hasn't gotten to a rhythm yet with its natural cycle, and so too, staying on the pill for a long time, taking artificial hormones, can be detrimental to your health as well. Throughout my bodybuilding career, I also went through phases of amenorrhea where I stopped getting my cycle when I was really lean. So looking back through all my body has been through over the years, I am so grateful that I have healthy hormones now, and it's through prioritizing all of this knowledge that I'm sharing with you today. So I've got those healthy hormones, and I was able to get pregnant really quickly and naturally, which I am so grateful for. So what I'm here to say is that the eat less and do more approach doesn't work in the long run. It's a dead end. But don't you have to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight? Yes. If you want to lose weight, you need to be using more calories than you're consuming. But simply cutting calories isn't a sustainable way to achieve that, because your body simply adapts to need less. And adding more and more cardio won't work for the long run either, because your body will adapt to this new baseline of activity, and eventually you will simply burn yourself out. As a coach, I'm passionate about guiding clients away from this place and towards an approach where they can achieve their goals in a healthy and effective way, a way that is not only sustainable, but it is regenerative, a process that keeps giving to itself and to you. It sounds too good to be true, but it's the real deal. This sustainable approach asks you to focus on strength training and building muscle as your mode of transformation. And this is not just about transformation physically, because strength training is beneficial for so many aspects of our health. So I don't say let's strength train as a means to an end, just to transform your body. I say strength train as an investment in your health, short, medium, and long term, and you'll get the byproducts of effective transformation and the ability to maintain a lean and athletic physique as a byproduct of your investment. When it comes to losing weight and transforming the way your body looks, building muscle is so effective, because muscle, building it, moving it, and maintaining it requires calories. It takes almost 3,000 calories to build a pound of muscle. So if you're focused on strength training to build muscle, you have to really eat in order to fuel that goal. For this reason, focusing on strength training and nutrition to support that goal is a really effective way to mend your metabolism if it is downregulated through dieting in the past. When you train muscle through strength training, you're burning a decent amount of calories during your workout, and there is also an afterburn effect after your workout where muscle requires calories. Compare that to pure cardiovascular exercise. On the other hand, if you go for a run, when you stop running, you stop burning calories, and that's it. It doesn't have the same afterburn effect. Muscle also requires a lot of calories to be maintained. So literally, the more muscle you have on your frame, the more calories you're burning at rest while you're sitting on the couch watching a movie. The more muscle you have, the more calories your body requires, full stop. So this is the opposite of eating less and less and having your metabolism down-regulate to function on less calories. Instead, this is where you are training to build muscle and your body is adapting to require more and more calories. It is also true that muscle is heavier than body fat relative to the size that it takes up. So a pound or a kilo of muscle is more compact, takes up less space than a pound or a kilo of body fat. So if you are focused on creating lasting physical transformation and building muscle, being lean, athletic, and toned, you may actually look better and achieve that goal more effectively visually if you are heavier. It's really important when you're focusing on sustainable transformation using strength training and muscle that you're not focused solely on the scales. For a lot of my clients, they understand the logic of this whole process, but actually trusting the process of eating more food, doing less cardio, and focusing on strength training is really challenging, particularly when they've been in their old paradigm for a long time. This is where the psychology tools that I incorporate into my coaching are so helpful and important. If you've been on the less food and more cardio bandwagon for a long time, it requires a complete shift in your mindset and your relationship with food and exercise to turn things around. Some difficulties that clients face when making this transition are the misinformation in the diet culture that is always promoting the next fad, diet to make you lose weight. The voice in their head that is attached to the old habits of trying to eat as little as possible or trying to burn as many calories as possible. And their old beliefs that if they eat any more than necessary to survive, they're going to gain weight. It is in overcoming this old version of ourselves that mindset coaching becomes really important. And this is what I'm going to dive deeper into in a future video. To become skilled at evolving as a person in literally any area of life, not just in our relationship with food, exercise, and our body, the key is that we learn to understand how we became the version of us that we are today. What are our habits and beliefs that need to change, and where did we get these habits and beliefs from? Part of this for most of my clients is realizing that the views they have about eating less and exercising more are not their views. They're views that they have unconsciously learned, often at a really young age, from society, from the media, or from a parent figure. I want to finish by sharing a real life example of a client that I started working with a few months ago, whom I'm going to call Sarah for confidentiality purposes. Sarah came to me eating between 200 and 900 calories a day and doing an hour of cardio each day, whilst also strength training and working a really physical job. Sarah wasn't seeing results in getting leaner, even though she was exercising a lot. And of course, she wasn't seeing results in building muscle either, because her body was literally running on empty. Fast forward from early May to the end of July, and Sarah's gone from the completely unsustainable and exhausting routine that she was in to eating on average 1,700 calories a day. That's about 1,000 calories more per day. Doing no cardio, strength training 5 times a week, and she has gained only 500 grams on the scale. She has got visibly leaner, and she has visibly built muscle, working towards this beautiful, curvy, feminine shape that we are building. Just last week, Sarah messaged me really excited because although she's gained weight from when we started, she just tried on some old shorts that didn't fit her from the summer, and they now fit her again, which gave her some really good proof that it wasn't all about being lighter on the scales. And this really helped her old self to realize that being focused on the scales all the time wasn't actually helping her to achieve what she wanted to achieve. I'm so proud of the work that Sarah has done. It has been a big physical shift, gradually reducing cardio, gradually increasing calories, and just really focusing on strength training and finding balance in that routine, but also a massive mindset shift, which has occurred through regular coaching calls, guiding her with the tools and the support so that she could build awareness of her inner self and the ways that she needed to evolve from within. She had to start showing up differently as a different version of herself in order to achieve what she wanted to achieve with her physique and her training. Sarah began realizing that there was this old version of herself whose ideas and beliefs weren't right, and they weren't serving her in being able to achieve what she wanted to achieve with her physique or in her training. In fact, it was that old version of her who was actually trying to protect her from getting fat, or so she thought, that was actually sabotaging her or preventing her from being able to go on and achieve what she wanted to achieve. More often than not, clients come to me eating less than their healthy maintenance calories. That is, they're eating less than they should be able to eat and maintain their weight, and they're either not losing weight or they're not seeing results in building muscle, which makes sense because they're not eating enough food. Often eating this low amount is the result of restriction, whether conscious or unconscious, and then their metabolism down-regulating, just as I spoke about earlier, to function on less calories than their body should be able to utilize. And these clients are either not seeing fat loss results they want to see because their metabolism isn't working for them, or they're not able to build muscle like they want to create the sustainable transformation in their body to look leaner and more toned because they simply are not eating enough. If you're curious as to whether you're eating at your maintenance, you can easily Google a calorie estimate calculator, and you can input your data, your sex, your age, your weight, your height, and your activity levels, and that will give you a really good idea of where your maintenance calories should be. These equations and calculations, they are not perfect, but they are a really helpful tool and a really good place to start if you're wondering, am I eating enough? As a coach, I guide clients to turn around whatever unsustainable or unsuccessful routine they are in, to get out of survival mode and into thriving mode, creating a lifestyle that they can keep doing forever, that's actually good for them and helps them to get the results they want to see. This is not a quick fix, but it's something that literally anyone of any age, and no matter how long you've been on the yo-yo diet train, can achieve with the right tools and support. I recommend at least 3 months, and really ideally 6 or more months in the coaching, to have the education, the knowledge, and the tools to be able to make these changes for yourself, to build your forever routine, and to actually understand and have the knowledge to keep doing it long term so that you don't end up back on the yo-yo train. If what I've shared today resonates for you, if you're feeling hungry, you're tired, and you're realizing that what you're doing probably isn't sustainable and isn't going to work in the long term, please reach out and I would love to guide you in the right direction. If you have any questions at all, you can leave those in the comments section, or you can reach out to me privately over email, which you will find down below. If you're curious to learn more about working with me as a coach, down below you'll also find all the information to check out my coaching offerings on my website, and you can also book a no obligation 15-minute complimentary call with me where you can ask me any questions and you can get a feel for what it would be like to work with me as your coach. I hope this video has been helpful, and I would love to hear from you in the comments if it has been. I'm sending you lots of love, and I will see you again soon.